by a combined 6 points.
Well, for Wofford, they feel like, hey, we lost 3 playoff teams, and we feel like what we saw ODU do last week, we can come in and do ourselves. So that's what makes this matchup very interesting. They feel confident coming into this ball game as well.
Wofford won the toss, elected to receive, and after the touchback, we will see their new starting quarterback come up. Ethan Drum is out injured, suffered a right shoulder injury late in last week's loss. He has been improving day to day, but in the meantime, it's Jaden Whitaker, a sophomore from Brownsburg, Indiana, who played a couple of years at Division II Gannon University, who gets the start here this afternoon. The starting running back, Ayden Jackson Anderson, the Eastern Michigan transfer, under heavy pressure. Whitaker unloads it, but nowhere to go for Jackson Anderson, leveled for a tackle for loss.
And I like what Virginia Tech's doing earlier. They're bringing immediate pressure to the quarterback. They do not want Whitaker to get comfortable at all. If I am Wofford, I'm going with the quick pass game. Get some play action going, but you've got to start by running the football with Ayden Jackson Anderson. I think he is a key to this football game, and if they're going to be successful offensively.
Good pressure from the nickel position out of Isaiah Cash on first down. It was a loss of 5. So on 2nd and 15, run it up the middle for Jackson Anderson, the junior from Flint, Michigan, able to get back closer to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and 12.
One of the things I'm also going to look for is discipline from the Virginia Tech defensive ends. Last week, a lot of the times when they were supposed to keep contained, they were crashing down. So that RPO game can work for Wofford if they're able to read those defensive ends, and those ends don't play disciplined football on the edge.
Ivory Akins, their top receiver, number 0 to the top of your screen. He's only 145 pounds, but electric out in space. Whitaker, clean pocket, throws over the middle through the hands of the intended receiver, Ivory Akins. And so it's 3 and out for this Virginia Tech defense.
And Whitaker had what he wanted on that play with Ivory Akins, but there was immediate pressure in his face. Kamari Copeland does a good job of disengaging from the offensive lineman and getting in the quarterback's face. So they'll have to address blocking those 2 interior players, Gilliam and Copeland.
The punter is Maddox Cowart. And to return, the electric Tucker Holloway, who had a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown 2 years ago against Georgia Tech. This a shorter punt, won't get a chance to return. And the ball will come to rest at the 41-yard line, which is where the Tech offense will come out for the first time. Well, there's Kyron Drones, one of the captains on this team. He started his college journey at Baylor, spent a couple of years in Waco, but now as a redshirt senior, it is his time, Forrest.
One of the things about quarterbacks that can run the football, you have some quarterbacks that can run for first downs. You have some that can run for touchdowns. Drones falls into that category of a quarterback that can run for touchdowns. He just has to be dynamic and cut it loose.
Benji Gosnell, one of the captains as well of the offense in motion. He's a lead blocker for Marcellus Hawkins. Finds a hole and picks up 7 yards on first down.
A good job by the offensive line that has dealt with injury early in the season, getting up to those second-level defenders, covering them up, getting blocked, giving the running backs lanes to get up the field.
Keep it on the ground, 2nd down. Once again, a big hole to run through for number 27. Breaking tackles all the way to the 26-yard line. Marcellus Hawkins finally brought down by Darius Malcolm.
And it all starts with movement at the point of attack. You see offensive linemen getting up to the second-level defenders, covering them up, getting a hat on a hat. That's what you need to do if you're Virginia Tech. Get up to those second-level defenders.
Outside linebacker Elijah Washington had a shot, couldn't bring him down, so on the march, the Hokies. Drones handed off again. And again, it's Hawkins finding plenty of space to maneuver inside the 20-yard line. Virginia Tech inside the red zone as Caleb Oliver came up from his linebacker position to make the tackle.
And a great job by number 66, Montavious Cunningham, getting up on that linebacker and covering him up.
10-yard gain for Hawkins, a redshirt junior running back from Oklahoma City. Keep feeding him. It's been working. Finally, that defense stands up. Seth Foster from the nose tackle position drops him for a 1-yard loss. The offensive line has been an issue for Tech so far this season. A lot of injuries. They're getting some guys healthy, but it's been a shuffling effort for Philip Montgomery, the offensive coordinator, now the interim head coach. Stop back near the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring 3rd down and 10.
And you know, Dale, we talked about some of the offensive struggles of this Virginia Tech team. You've got a new offensive coordinator, a new offensive line coach, and then you've got a plethora of injuries along that offensive line. So that has contributed to some of the difficulties they've had offensively.
For the 1-yard pickup from P.J. Prelo. He stays in alongside Drones. And as you may have noticed by now, everybody's wearing white. This is their annual whiteout game. Virtually everybody in the stands wearing white. And, of course, the players on the field, head to toe, in their formal whites. Bobbling catch over the middle. It's Ayden Greene, one of the Greene brothers. Not related, but Ayden and Donovan are a pretty good 1-2 punch.
And I like this going forward on 4th down. Play aggressive football. Come out, play to win. Set the tone early. Let your team know. We know the importance of trying to get a win, and we've got to go for it right now. I love this.
On the year, Tech is 1 of 4 converting on 4th down. They've got to get to the 6-yard line. Hawkins met immediately and dropped. The Wofford defense holds. Omarion Brown, the sophomore from Woodbury, Georgia, blew that one up.
Omarion Brown with the swim technique to get into the backfield. Right as the back is getting possession of the football, Brown is there to cover him up. You've got to fire off. You've got to play with a flat back. Not a good deal on the 4th down. They did not get it. You've got to do better stopping penetration at the point of attack.
hint of fall here in Blacksburg, Virginia. Gorgeous day at Lane Stadium. And after stopping Tech inside the 10-yard line, Wofford takes over on downs. Ben Bell on first down, the defensive end from Cedar Park, Texas, able to force that incompletion, second down and 10.
And I'm surprised at the play that they called on fourth down. That was very predictable. And another thing, Doug, they only allowed Drones to throw the ball one time in that first drive. That is surprising to me as well.
Well, Tech had scored in 7 of their last 8 red zone trips before that stop. Wofford was 3 and out on its first possession. Jackson Anderson, the running back, bounces it outside, but still pursued by a gaggle of Hokies. Caleb Spencer among those to bring him down.
Powerful run by Jackson to continue to keep those legs turning and not allow himself to go down at first contact.
Jackson Anderson picked up 3 yards. He's a young man at Eastern Michigan. He was known as Elijah, but when he transferred to Wofford, he wanted to change his name, so he's Ayden Jackson Anderson now. Gerald Modest, the running back, should have stayed in to block. They came with pressure, and there was no chance for Jaden Whitaker. Michael Short got there quickly.
What Virginia Tech is doing, they're bringing the house. They're playing one deep safety. They're bringing the safeties up in the box. They're showing the blitz early. The quarterback has to do a better job with his pre-snap reads of seeing what the defense is giving him and getting rid of the football a little bit faster. You've got guys coming in unblocked. So I think Wofford needs to change their offensive strategy when they're going to throw the football, get into a max protection, protect your young quarterback. Give him time to try and find a receiver, have a 1 or 2 receiver route. If he doesn't see what he likes, get rid of the football, because right now Virginia Tech is bringing the house.
Standing with his heels on the back of the end zone, Maddox Cowart able to get off the punt. His first went for 36. This one much better. Good coverage downfield. A flag comes in at midfield. Isaiah Nell in coverage for Wofford after a 56-yard punt. See what the flag is all about.
During the return, legal block in the back, number 4, return team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
That's on Christian Williams.
You see right there, obvious block in the back. And those are just mental errors that you cannot make. The official is right there. It's very obvious that he's blocking him from behind. Just let him go. I know you want to protect your teammate, but at the same time, your teammate sees where the pressure's coming from. He has to prepare to take on that contact or put his hands up and call for a fair catch.
Well, Philip Montgomery takes over, and an enviable job. The 53-year-old Dallas native takes over an 0-3 team that is coming off one of the worst losses in program history that cost Brent Pry his job. Toss sweep, Prelo tackled after a 2-yard gain, flag behind the play. So it'll be second down and 8 pending the penalty. Oh, we saw off the top Philip Montgomery's wife Ashley walking in on the Hokie walk. A lot of excitement. I like
foul, face mask, number 62, offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
That's their center, Kyle Altuner, who transferred in from West Virginia. But the whole idea is that Coach Montgomery is trying to steady the ship. He did make a couple of changes this week. He implemented a little bit of a different practice schedule. Now Virginia Tech sweats a bit on Thursday. They hadn't previously, and then had a normal walkthrough type of practice yesterday. This is what he did during his tenure as head coach at Tulsa and Forest. It's what he's comfortable with going forward. Kyron Drones. Swing it out. Prelo out of the backfield. Across the 30. Still on his feet. Loses a shoe. Out to the 40-yard line and gets most of the penalty back before Elijah Washington made the tackle.
Nice block out in the perimeter by Benji Gosnell. That is what opened up the opportunity for him to get up the field. And those are the small things that coaching staffs look for. Blocks out in the perimeter.
Now Braden Bennett. Now potential targeting, as we will see on that 24-yard pass play from Kyron Drones to P.J. Prelo.
And it looks like they're looking at Elijah Washington, number 8.
So we'll take a break and find out from the referee, Nolan Dumas, when we come back, if indeed there was targeting.
After review, personal foul, targeting with crown of the helmet, number 8, defense. That 15-yard penalty is added from the end of the play and an automatic first down. Number 8 is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
We just got the answer we were looking for. Elijah Washington, the outside linebacker, is called for targeting. And so he is disqualified for the game. The redshirt freshman from Kennesaw, Georgia, will be replaced by John Schaefer.
And what's interesting about this, he did not hit him in the helmet or above the shoulder pads, but he launched and he hit with the crown of his helmet. And by definition, that is targeting. You see him launching and hitting with the crown. So they're not only looking to protect the ball carrier, they're also looking to protect defenders and to teach people to tackle the proper way.
Play action, fake the handoff to Bennett. Drones under duress, flag down in the middle of the field. He completes the pass to Cameron Selden, who calls himself Cam Bam Selden, the former Tennessee Volunteer, but we'll see if that play stands as the backup outside linebacker just into the game, Schaefer, made the stop.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, number 90, defense. That 15-yard penalty is added from the end of the play and an automatic first down.
Omarion Brown with the big penalty that moves the sticks even closer to the Virginia Tech end.
What I'd like to see a little bit more, Doug, is getting Drones outside the pocket. Allow him to be an athlete. Allow him to look down the field. One of the things the Wofford defenders do, they bail at the snap of the football, so it's very difficult to get vertical with the vertical pass game. So you have to give the receivers time to allow the routes to develop downfield. So I think sprinting Drones outside the pocket will allow them to have more time.
Cam Selden goes in motion. Drones looking that way. He's got Selden inside the 5-yard line. And for the second time in this ball game, the Hokies are inside the 10-yard line.
And you see the ability of Drones going to his right, able to rip that ball down the field. And we talk about him being able to make all of the throws. And once again, you get him outside the pocket to allow for those receivers to get down the field and find an open space.
Trips. They're going to run it up the middle instead, and lowering his shoulder is Bennett. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. The former Chanticleer finds the end zone to give the Hokies a 6-0 lead.
Watch the offensive line fire off the football. You see white jerseys moving black jerseys backwards, and that's what you want to see if you're a running back. Down on the goal line in short yardage situations, guys firing off with a flat back, basically bear crawling. The low man wins. So as an offensive lineman, you want to make sure you're lower than that defender and keep those feet turning to allow your back to find the lane to get to the end zone.
Bennett's father, Brandon, played running back at South Carolina and played several years in the NFL. And the son able to, in his final year of college, get into the end zone.
I think he's on top of a defender. You see, he keeps his body up on top of the defender. The elbow did not go down. A good job staying on top of Wyatt Ward to roll himself into the end zone. I think this is going to be a touchdown. The ball breaks the plane before his elbow comes down.
Well, if it stands under review, it was a 4-play, 68-yard drive. 68 yards sounds good, but 30 of them were on penalties inflicted by Wofford.
But also, I think getting Drones outside the pocket, completing those 2 passes, we're starting to build his confidence again. And once again, I think you've got to let Drones be Drones. Let him do what he does, you know, be a dominant football player. You know, he's not just a quarterback. He's, you know, a dual threat quarterback. A guy that's slippery. He's got good size or excellent size to be able to do some of the things he does.
Ruling in the field if a touchdown is upheld.
So I think sprinting him outside, giving him more space, more room to be creative, will continue to see positive from Drones in this offense.
So Bennett, who was nearly a 2,000-yard rusher at Coastal Carolina, with now his 25th career touchdown. And so now one of the captains, John Love, an excellent all-conference place kicker who is a perfect 93 for 93 in PATs for his career, makes it 94 for 94. Well, the Hokies trying to rewrite the story after the change in head coaches, off to a 7-0 start. You're watching the ACC on ESPN on Military Appreciation Day here at Lane Stadium. Also a whiteout, and it's also Hall of Fame weekend. They had their Hall of Fame inductions dinner last night, and the fun will continue throughout the weekend. And the Hokies take a 7-0 lead on the short touchdown run by grad transfer Braden Bennett. So now Kyle Lowe will kick off to Ivory Akins, who stands on the goal line and lets it fly over his head by some 15 yards. And now let's see if the Terriers offense can do a little something. Head coach Sean Watson said they're relying heavily on true freshmen. Quote, "We are rearing them," a part of why 3 close losses so far this year. But he says they're still playing hard and still believe in what the coaches are telling them. Although they are down 1 true freshman on their 2 deep today because Ayden, their starting quarterback, is out with a shoulder injury. Jaden Whitaker getting the start. And with the 2 running backs, he gives to Jackson Anderson, who kicks it outside, but good pursuit by this defense from Virginia Tech. Cody Heisman and Asen Stevens among those making the stop.
You see what Virginia Tech did on this defensive series. They come out, now they're playing 2 deep safeties. They feel like they can get pressure with that front 4. So they're going to sit back now. So this is a game right now. They're playing a game of cat and mouse with this young quarterback. They're giving him different looks and different schemes to try to decipher.
Modest, the running back, sophomore from Miami, out of Booker T. Washington. Instead, they throw the football and able to make some men miss on the receiving end. A marvelous job to get positive yardage and keep Wofford on schedule. It's Isaiah Scott with a big play.
Good job by Scott on the outside, and way to avoid Jordan Bass, number 6. You've got to make that tackle. You've got to break down when you get to the offensive player to make that tackle. I know you want to come up and make the big hit, but the job needs to be done, and the job is making the tackle.
A 9-yard gain, their biggest so far of the afternoon, and so it's 3rd down and 2. Whitaker has time and has a man, Akins. He can fly. Gets upended at the 45-yard line by Tyson Flowers. But they talk about Ivory Akins at 5'6", 145 pounds. But Forrest, you've always got to account for him.
Well, they know that he presents a challenge, and you see right there, they've got the matchup that they want. They've got him matched up against Michael Short, a linebacker. So when you've got the quick Akins going up against a linebacker, you find that matchup, it allows Akins to get inside leverage on him, and he got the football to him.
Whitaker swings it out of the backfield. Nice one-handed catch by Jackson Anderson. More positive yards on 1st down for the Terriers.
And I think this is the recipe for success for Wofford. Get rid of the football quickly. That's an extension of the run game, getting the quick pass out to Jackson Anderson in the open. You get him in open space. You allow him to be an athlete. This is where he can do damage to this defense. Running the ball right at the gut of the defense, they've not been successful, but getting him the ball on that swing pass is an extension of the run game.
Meanwhile, this Tech defense that has been beleaguered the last couple of games is missing several key players, including its middle linebacker, Caleb Woodson, out injured. Modest stood up. No gain, actually a loss of 1 to bring up 3rd down and 4. Michael Short and Isaiah Brown Murray there for Tech.
And you see the adjustment defensively on that play. They brought Jaden Keller with the linebacker blitz. They want to not give Whitaker time. He's had time the last 2 plays with the quick pass game, so they want to try and get immediate pressure on the young quarterback.
Now let's see if Elijah Fall on one edge. Keyshawn Burgos on the other edge defensively if they can get to the quarterback on 3rd down. The line to gain is the 34 for Wofford. Going to keep it on the ground. Pretty close. Fall made the tackle on Modest, and it looks like he may have fallen forward for a 1st down indeed. Move the sticks for Wofford out of the Southern Conference.
And a good job by Wofford, taking what the defense gives you. They're showing a cloud 2 cover. So what they're doing is they're showing 1 safety back in that for the pre-snap read, But when the ball is snapped, you've got two safeties dropping back. So a good job of understanding what the defense gives you. Don't try and pass the ball into that coverage. Get the ball to your back, push at the point of attack, get the first down, extend the drive.
And this is the 7th play of the drive. First extended offensive possession of the afternoon for Wofford. On first down, a helmet goes flying. Whitaker lost his helmet. No gain as Bass and Jeanette combined for the tackle. Jordan Bass, the pit transfer, according to his defensive coordinator, Sam Seifkiss, says he's the guy who wants to hit you the most, and we saw him come up and deliver a blow there. Loss of 2 on the play. JoJo Krim among those getting more reps today because starting cornerback Caleb Brown is out. Dante Lovett, the one who has hit the transfer portal this week since the firing of the head coach. Also Sherrod Colville's out. Quentin Reddish is out. So 4 key defensive players on the back end not playing today for Tech.
And that's a good tackle by Kamari Copeland because the back bounced that to the outside. There were no outside defenders. If he's able to get to the outside, he's still running right now. That's one of the things coming into this game I talked about, the discipline for those defensive ends for Virginia Tech. You've got to make that tackle if you're going to crash down because there's nobody on the outside to keep contained.
So after J.T. Fayard came in at quarterback for one play, they're back to Whitaker on 3rd down and 11. Here comes the pressure, and down he goes. The first to get there was Caleb Spencer, who played so well, especially in the second half of the loss to Old Dominion, that his coaches said, we want to reward you with more playing time today.
And Wofford had the protection that they needed. They had max protection, but there were still too many defenders for them to block. The quarterback has to recognize that they played man on the outside, one deep safety. You've got to get rid of the football. Wherever the safety is shading, you go to the opposite side and hope that your man can win that one-on-one battle.
For the 3rd time today, Maddox Cowart in the final minute of this first quarter punts it away, end over end. Tucker Holloway lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone, it looked like. Just this side of the pylon. Terrence Honeywood for Wofford was down there trying to down it, just couldn't do it.
And they had what they wanted. He tried to get too much. Right there, you've got to down it inside the 10-yard line. I know you want to try and get it as close to the goal line as possible, but take what is given to you, and deal with that. Don't try and get too much. And you saw right there, they allowed it to get over the end zone, and now they get them to start from the 20.
Well, at the very least, if you are Wofford, you have flipped the field, you put together a sustained drive, and you allowed for your defense to catch its breath. 33 seconds to go in the half. Run it near side on first down for Hawkins. It's a first down for Tech. After the 15-yard pickup. And we saw Old Dominion last week using exotic blitz packages, and you thought perhaps we would see some of that today from Wofford.
Well, when you're running the football, those blitz packages go out the door, and what you do, you put yourself in a bad position to make tackles a lot of times when you're running blitz against the run game.
Hawkins trying to make something out of nothing on this final play of the first quarter, able to get positive yardage. That looked like it was going to be a loss, but instead, Virginia Tech now heading from left to right with Kyron Drones, their 5th-year senior quarterback. Fakes the handoff, finds the motion man. Nice job to get some yardage near the first down, and it is a first down Virginia Tech on the catch and run by Cameron Selden, one of the transfers back to his home state here in the Commonwealth.
And Drones is 5 of 5 early in this football game, so he is on point in a great rhythm so far.
And they've been playing complementary football so far in that first quarter. Hawkins carried the football 7 times for a season-high 62 yards. Good pressure to force the pass out of the reach of Ayden Greene. Darius Malcolm was in pursuit.
And that's 8.9 yards to carry, almost a first down every time he touches the football. And that's a reflection of the offensive line doing a good job of covering up those defenders, firing off, and knowing where to go. We talked about a lot of youth from that offensive line, but those guys are gelling and knowing where to go and playing with emotion, what Coach Montgomery talked to us about.
Meanwhile, Wofford has negative rushing yards. What do you think about the fact that Kyron Drones is the leading rusher so far this season for Virginia Tech?
Well, you know, once again, he's a dual threat quarterback. You never want your quarterback to lead your team in rushing. But when you look at what Drones is able to do and what he means to this offense, he's kind of, you know, that Swiss Army knife quarterback. He can do it all. You don't want him to lead your team, but you understand why, because of the dynamic player that he is.
3rd down and 7. Dual receivers on either side. Here's Drones looking left. Now checks it down. Comes to the near side for P.J. Prelo. Across midfield inside the 45-yard line. Gets walloped but holds on to the football. Malcolm leveled the boom, but not until he got a 1st down.
And I like what Drones did. Watch him. He goes through his progressions. He doesn't see what he likes. He knows where he can dump it off to his playmaker out in space to allow him to be a special player. But I like what Drones is doing, going through his progressions, taking his time, taking what the defense gives him, not trying to press it or force it in there.
Drones again has all day and again checks it down to Prelo, and the 4th-year Hokie spins to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 8 on 1st down.
And you saw on that play, he wanted to go with the short crossing route, but he saw the defender there. He did a good job of getting it to the safe throw to Prelo on the outside. And he saw Prelo almost able to break a tackle. If he does, he may still be running.
And of course, P.J. Prelo, the son of Pearson Prelo, the great Hokie back in the 90s, who is back here in Blacksburg as the safeties coach. P.J. takes it, has all the room to run on the left side, breaks the tackle and falls forward inside the 20-yard line. Zayd Rogan, a freshman defensive back, was hanging on for dear life. Nice job out front blocking by Montavious Cunningham.
Did a good job getting out to the outside shoulder, getting outside leverage. You see number 55, he's able to get to the outside shoulder. He does a good job on that tandem block. First, using that inside hand to help his guard, then getting out to the edge to get that corner to allow Prelo to get around the edge.
Yeah, 55 for us is Tomas Remak, one of the NFL prospects, a redshirt senior who transferred here from West Virginia following the O-line coach Matt Moore from Morgantown. He has a man, and in stride, Drones hits Devin Alves. Touchdown, Tech.
They talk about the zone. Watch this pass by Drones. This is a strike. I mean, right where the receiver can catch it and run it to the end zone. I mean, you can't throw a more perfect pass right there. You see the slant route to the receiver. I mean, all he has to do is stretch his arms out. The ball is right there. Drones is in a zone right now. He has not missed on a pass all afternoon.
A 9-play, 80-yard drive capped off by the touchdown pass from Kyron Drones. John Love puts his right foot into the ball, kicks it through the uprights. He remains perfect as a Hokie on PATs. Well, Drones has thrown for 98 yards and now a touchdown as the Hokies take command of the ballgame, up 14-0 over the Wofford Terriers.
Virginia Tech has a proud military tradition. To honor our military Hokies, we recognize a special Hokie at each game this year. Please welcome Virginia Tech Corps Cadets alum, Captain Kyron Drones. Captain Pillman, a native of New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, demonstrates a commitment to both leadership and technical expertise through diverse assignments across the country, in Kuwait, and in Bahrain with the United States Army. A recipient of the Meritorious Service Medal and Army Commendation Medal, Captain Pillman currently serves at the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. In addition, Hokie fans, we're honored to share a milestone moment with Captain Pillman as he takes his oath on the field, officially marking his promotion to the rank of Major in the United States Army. Welcome home and congratulations, Major Pillman.
Doug Sherman, Forrest Connolly back at Lane Stadium here in Blacksburg, Virginia. And I think it's safe to say, Fo, that Kyron Drones has gotten this game off to a better start than he did last Saturday night against ODU.
Well, he heard all the chatter all week long. He heard about the mental miscues that he had. He heard about the turnovers. But he has done what you expect your leader to do. Get into that playbook, study. You know, don't worry about what you can't control. Those things happen. Those are a learning experience, a learning tool. You learn from your mistakes and you get better. And you've seen the result this afternoon early in this football game.
Well, last week in the loss to ODU, the second half was so much better than the first. He completed 26 passes last week to 12 different receivers. And on their scoring drives today, he has been efficient. 8 of 9 passing, nearly 100 yards, and the touchdown. The first of the career on the receiving end by Alves.
And I like what I've seen from him throughout this afternoon. He's going through his progressions. He's taking what the defense is giving him. He's not trying to force it. And he is just doing a good job of watching and playing the type of football he's capable of playing. And that is what this team is going to need as they enter into conference play starting next week.
That, by the way, was the 780-plus yard drive touchdown for a touchdown this season for the Hokies. So Wofford's offense back out there. Jaden Whitaker, the quarterback, hands it off to Ayden Jackson Anderson. Jason Abbey, the redshirt sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, making the tackle, and this is 20th career game.
One of the difficulties for Wofford interior-wise is blocking those two interior defenders, Kamari Copeland and Kelvin Gilliam. And you see those guys, as well as the other interior defenders, Cody Huston, Emmett Laws, Emmanuel Hickman. Those guys are getting pushed right in the center of that offensive line. And when you get that push and that penetration, it prevents the offense from getting that rushing attack going.
Grant Tucker is coming to the game at wide receiver, number 11 in black. He'll be out blocking if that pass had been completed. Jackson Anderson, though, could not come up with it as Whitaker's delivery was well below his knees.
And good pressure by Tyson Flowers to get in Whitaker's face, and it looked like he may have got a fingertip on that football. But once again, what you want to do is get pressure on the young quarterback. You know, make him think.
Whitaker, the last couple of years at the Division II level at Gannon University in Erie, Pennsylvania, was outstanding. A dual threat quarterback, freshman of the year in his division last year. On third down, he's leveled. Pass is incomplete. Heisman among those, along with Fall, collapsing that pocket. An incompletion to bring up fourth down.
And L.I.'s Fall is right in his face. And that is what a quarterback can't step up into the pocket. As the guards, you've got to be stout at the point of attack. You've got to sit down in your stance. When you've got Fall, you've got Husman in your face, there's nowhere for the quarterback to step into those throws. He's got immediate pressure every time he drops back to try and pass the football.
Cowart with a low punt. Bounces near midfield and takes a Terriers roll inside the 30-yard line. And it is down with 10:53 remaining in the first half. Tech gets it back. Kyron Drones, near perfect so far, throwing the football.
Well, he's doing a good job of taking what the defense gives him. He's throwing strikes. He's putting the football right where his receivers can catch it, and then get out in the open field and make plays. And that's what you want to do. You see right here, this is a strike. I love the way he went with that RPO action. He saw that his receiver had inside leverage. He delivered the football right where you can get possession of it, get across the goal line prior to taking on that contact from the defender.
He's so fluid back there, delivers the ball from all sorts of different angles. It always makes me think like a middle infielder in baseball.
And he can pop it with his wrist. He's able to get that ball out real quick.
By the way, you may have noticed the red, white, and blue flourishes on the Hokie uniforms today because it is Military Appreciation Day. On first down, Braden Bennett able to pick up a couple of yards. Eli Campbell, the free safety from Sanford, Florida, on the stop.
And I thought Bennett had the opportunity to follow his tight end, Harrison St. Germain, on that play. If he follows his tight end up through the hole, there was an area for him to continue to run.
Well, as ever, we salute Virginia Tech's Corps of Cadets. No doubt sweating inside those uniforms here this afternoon. It is a picture-perfect day for college football. Bennett motions out of the backfield. Drones looks right now, going to try to run. The hole collapsed immediately as Seth Foster got off his block and brought him down.
Third down.
Ball came out after he was down. Elijah Williams, the outside linebacker, former Bowling Green Falcon, also there on the tackle.
I don't know if that ball was coming out. It looked like the ball may have been coming out. Let's see, is the knee down? The ball is coming out.
Well, fumbles were an issue last week in the Old Dominion game for Drones. And now we will have the stoppage before the next snap for a review.
Play is under further review.
So we'll take a break while they review. Is it a fumble or not for Kyron Drones?
After review, the runner lost possession of the ball with an immediate recovery by Wofford at the 32-yard line. First down.
Upon further review, it was indeed a fumble, and so Kyron Drones gives up the football back to Wofford. Fourth lost fumble. For the fourth fumble, third lost so far this year for Drones. Do you agree with the call there?
Absolutely. Marion Brown did a good job of punching the ball out at the end of that play. That's what you're taught to do as a defender. Punch at the football, try and knock it out.
And Elijah Williams covered the fumble, and so no, Wofford starts with its best field position of the afternoon. Gerald Modest with a tremendous block on pass protection, but it's deflected and intercepted. The pass is picked off on a beautiful diving play to get the football right back by the Hokies, thanks to Kamari Copeland, the defensive tackle, who somehow, with those good hands, makes the play.
You see the athletic ability. First, you got James Jeanette jumping up and batting the football, and then Copeland at 6'3", 285 pounds, able to turn around with the athletic ability and get out there and dive and give up his body to squeeze that football and bring it close to his body and not allow it to touch the ground. That is all you can ask for your defense to do. Go out and get the football back for you. Great job by Copeland.
Well, we asked the defensive coordinator for Tech yesterday, Sam Seifkis, who has the best hands on your defense? And he joked and said, they all have terrible hands despite what they say. Well, we just saw some good hands, not just from a defensive back, but from one of your down linemen. So Tech's offense back out there. Run the football to Sheldon. Makes a man miss, still on his feet across the 30-yard line and then driven back after a 1-yard gain. Jude Tyner in pursuit for Wofford.
And a good job by the Wofford defense to stretch that out. You don't want to give up that edge. You want to continue to stretch that play, stretch it, because you know you've got pursuit coming from the backside. Don't allow him to plant that foot and get north and south. A good job not allowing Selden to get north and south.
So Selden comes out after a 2-yard pickup. Maximus Pulley is the leading tackler this year. He's got the stop there. He leads the team coming into the game in tackles with C.J. Coombs, who is out injured today, along with several Wofford defenders. That pass is dropped by Gosnell. Yeah, Elijah Washington, an outside linebacker. Scoot Luster, a cornerback. And C.J. Coombs, one of the leaders on defense for Wofford, all not playing today in Blacksburg. Third down and 8. Drones moves the pocket, finds a man, kept the play alive long enough to get to Jairicus Hairston, whose first career catch was a 2-yard touchdown 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt. Had another catch last week, and now he's got his third of his career.
Look at the protection by the offensive line. A good job of giving Drones what he needed, the time he needed. And I love what the offensive tackle did on the outside. Thomas Brydman. He's able to turn and run that speed rusher past the quarterback's level.
Drones again keeps his eyes downfield, now steps out, hit late, but no flag as he just cut his losses. Able to pick up maybe a yard on first down. Logan McLeod was the one closest to him and gave him a little shot near that sideline. Just a little love tap. Little love tap.
Well, just let him know I'm here.
Slot receiver is Selden. Hand it off. Bennett hit almost immediately, and he loses a yard. So it goes back to the original line of scrimmage, thanks to the defense of Eli Campbell, to bring up third down and 10.
And Marion Brown, once again, disrupting that play, number 90. He's continuing to be a disruptive force from the defensive tackle position.
Keep your eye on Drones. Seems like after that hit on the sideline, he may be a little bit off. He draws the defenders into the neutral zone. Free play. It's a completion to the tight end, Gosnell. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
And a good job by the center. As soon as they jump off sides, you've got to snap that football, knowing you're going to have a free play. And a good job by Drones.
That penalty is declined. The result of the play, the first down.
A lot of times the defenses will react and know that they're offsides, and they will be slow to go through the play process. And a good job by Gosnell getting out in the open field and giving Drones somewhere to go with the football.
Drones hands it off with a stiff arm. Hawkins tiptoes around a defender. The Hokies once again moving the football, now inside of 7 minutes to go in the first half.
And you see the ability of Hawkins to get out there and the balance right there to stay in bounds. Good job getting extra yards after contact.
Yeah, Malcolm missed the tackle, so it's a 7-yard pickup. This the 8th play of the drive coming. Inside the red zone for Tech. Drones fakes the handoff, throws over the middle, has a man into the end zone is Ayden Greene. Ayden Greene, one of the highly productive wide receivers this year for Tech, youngest of 5 boys in Knoxville, Tennessee. He originally committed to Cincinnati, but the folks here in Blacksburg certainly are glad to have him in the Chicago Maroon and Burnt Orange. An 8-play, 69-yard drive, bringing John Love back onto the field. Another impressive drive for Tech, guided by Kyron Drones.
And it's almost a carbon copy of the touchdown previously. He saw the safety shaded to the inside, man coverage on the outside. His receiver had inside leverage, throw it where he can make a play. Touchdown, Virginia Tech.
Speaking of good food, we got another big competition for this in the South End Zone. It's time for the babies slice off. We got Connor, and we have Andre, and have these big old pieces of pizza, and they are ready to eat. 30 seconds to eat as much of it as they can. Whoever's able to do that gets the win. Okay, in 3, 2, 1, eat. Come on, guys. Big moment of lifetime here for Andre and Connor. Right away, Bailey's prize pack has got a gift going in there. Bailey's is a Blacksburg institution. I think this is a pretty good advertisement for it. 15 seconds. Come on, guys. I'm going to put it in overdrive here. 11, 10, 9. Less than 10 seconds, guys. Who's going to eat the most of this pizza? 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, pizza's down. This is close. It's really close. Gotta give it to Connor. Give it up for Connor, everybody. A winner of the Bailey's Slice Off and a Bailey's Prize Pack.
Let's go! Back at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, where Kyron Drones has had a really good first half. 11 of 13 passing, 157 yards, a couple of touchdown throws. 3 different Hokies have scored to make the score, 21-0. Virginia Tech. And now Kyle Lowe will kick off to Ivory Aikens in this game of winless teams. Both 0-3. Somebody's got to win today, and as you'd expect, the FBS team is out in front. However, as we pointed out, their quarterback Drones a little bit gimpy, and it was not apparently on the play that we had indicated where he got hit on the sideline. The previous play, just a little tap there by Elijah Williams, and it appeared that Drones tripped a little bit and has been limping just a bit ever since. Not sure whether it's anything to be concerned about, that they are retaping one of his feet. And with the score 21-0, I wouldn't be surprised at all, for a variety of reasons, if we see Pop Watson, the backup quarterback, at some point this afternoon.
Yeah, it looked like he may have just tweaked something on that play. Let's hope he's going to be okay.
Wofford runs on first down with Jackson Anderson. Antoine Santiago in on the tackle. He's getting a lot more playing time today without Caleb Woodson, their starting middle linebacker. Last year's second leading tackler. He was announced as questionable yesterday, and we went to the walkthrough, and he did not participate, and then is not in pads today, so we won't see number 20 in white. On second down, run it again. Jackson Anderson being featured today. Jaden Keller with the stop.
And you see what Virginia Tech is doing. They're showing a 4-man front prior to the snap. They shift to a 3-man front, but then they bring the blitz from the opposite side. So what you're doing is you're making the Wofford offensive linemen think and try and figure out what their blocking assignments are.
Keller lost his helmet on that play, so he's replaced for at least one play by Michael Short. Short got his first.
Number 11, offense.
Got his first
5-yard
start.
penalty. Still third down.
A couple of weeks ago. Jackson Anderson limps to the sideline for Wofford. And so now Wofford already missing one of its running backs in Kyle Parsons due to a knee injury as Jackson Anderson go out. And we have not seen, in terms of the running back room for Tech, we haven't seen Terrion Stewart so far run the football. He's coming off his season best game in the loss to ODU. If he is injured, we did not receive a report on that. So Modest is back out there in the backfield for the Terriers. Whitaker throws it to him, but a little too tall. At 6'1", Modest needed to be perhaps 6'4" to make that play. So that brings up fourth down as the Tech defense will get off the field with a 3-and-out.
The Tech rushing forward, dropping 7 back in the coverage. They feel confident they can get pressure with those 4 down linemen. And that is when Wofford has to do a better job of giving the quarterback more time. I think on that play, Whitaker got rid of the ball a little bit prematurely, but that's because he's seen pressure all afternoon and he has to hear footsteps.
So another opportunity for Tucker Holloway, who a couple of years ago was all ACC third team as a punt returner. That included a 90-yarder for a touchdown, but a fair catch.
Tucker Holloway with the fair catch.
And the Hokies will take over at about their own 29-yard line, and we'll see if number 1 in white comes back out after the 45-yard punt. Well, so far, Forrest, I have not heard any boos that were so prevalent last week, and we didn't know what we would expect. Now, the scoreboard tells you they shouldn't be booing, but you wonder after the firing of the head coach on Sunday, the fans, how do they feel about the change? Win or lose how your team plays, you just know, okay, this is a new start. We got to support the kids.
And sometimes you have a renewed energy when you've got a new person in charge. And I think that's what you're seeing from the fan base and the crowd, and also from the performance of these kids out here in this football field.
Drones is out there, hands it off to P.J. Prelude. Tries to pick his way through a couple of defenders, but Ramon McCullough said nothing doing. So no gain on the carry by the redshirt senior running back from nearby Radford, Virginia. After getting that foot retaped, Drones plays on. Boy, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of Shadow Creek High School in Houston. Picked Baylor over Auburn and Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Pittsburgh. That pass dropped in and out of the hands of Donovan Greene. He comes in as the number 1 target for Drones, targets him there, but Greene just couldn't hang on.
And he felt Maximus Pulley coming up, but you've got to get possession of that football prior to the contact. I know you want to make a play. You see the defender coming up and closing, but you've got to squeeze that football, help your quarterback out.
Well, Drones has 2 incompletions today, and they are both drops. That time by Greene, the former Wake Forest Demon Deacon. So it's 3rd down and 10. Drones pressured, and now he gets drilled. Back at the 20-yard line, met face-to-face by Elijah Williams. The son of Alfonso and Tanisha Williams with a big play to get this Wofford defense
And that was
off the
good
field.
blocking by the offensive line. They picked up the blitz, but also that was good coverage on the back end of that defense. That's just a coverage sack right there. I like that Drones didn't try to force it, didn't give up an easy turnover. We talk about mental errors. We talk about not having those mental lapses, and sometimes quarterbacks do that. So you don't want to see your quarterback get hit. You don't want to take a sack, but sometimes that's the best play. And I thought on that play, he did the best thing that he could. Keep possession of the football, flip the field.
And the punter, you may notice, not wearing number 95 this week. Nick Beltsitsis wearing number 25. That is a weekly honor that he has been given. Of course, Frank Beamer was number 25 as a defensive back in the 60s. Best remembered around here for his decades of excellence as the head coach. There's number 25, so that is a special number that has been given to Nick for the week. You know, Nick Beltsitsis, to me, is a remarkable story. He's from Fairfax, Virginia. He was offered scholarships to go play elsewhere, Air Force Academy, Army, but he chose to instead be a preferred walk-on here. Now, that's not all that uncommon, but the fact that Nick was here the last 4 years for us and didn't play once. He stayed and waited his turn until this year, as a fifth-year senior, he gets his chance to be the punter.
And that lets you know he's a Hokie through and through.
No doubt. One of the in-state recruits, as Gerald Modest is tackled by Caleb Spencer. Final 3:15 of this first half that has been controlled by Virginia Tech. Now, time of possession so far favors Tech, but not by as much as you might think. They have had precise scoring drives. Tech is averaging 7.3 yards per carry. Well, that was in the first quarter. Now it is slowed a bit in the second quarter, only 2.5 yards per run. Jaden Whitaker has a man at the 45-yard line, takes a couple of shots, hangs on to the football, but Ivory Aikens pinballing around all 145 pounds of him. Forrest, you were 145 pounds, what, in third grade?
Maybe first grade.
I give him credit. 4-yard gain, took some punishment, but now it's third and manageable for Wofford.
And that's all you can ask for if you're Wofford. Put it in third and manageable. Now you open up the playbook more with more opportunities to try and convert this third down.
Now we have a stoppage in play as we've got the 2-minute timeout. Well, the name Beamer is everywhere around here. Along Beamer Way, there is the statue of the man, Frank Beamer.
Hokie fans, Geico is uniting Hokie Nation like never before. From living rooms to tailgates, fans send in their game day photos to be featured on Hokie Nation.
On a whiteout Saturday here in Blacksburg, Virginia, the home team with 2 minutes remaining in the half on top 21-0. And you were saying during the break, Forrest, it is a perfect day for college football.
Absolutely wonderful. The sun is out, the wind is blowing.
Now can, with 2 minutes to go in the half, the Terriers get something going. Number 0, Ivory Akins. Yards after catch, a big first down reception and run. Finally tracked down by Ben Bell. Tyson Flowers, the safety as well.
And Ivory Akins is a matchup problem for everyone on the defensive side of the football for Virginia Tech. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a very quick in and out of his route runner, and it's very difficult for defenders to stay with him.
He picked up 17 yards. Yeah, you get the sense that if he was 5'9", he'd be in the FBS, and if he was 6'1", he'd be in the FCS, and then he'd be in the FCS or FBS. You got it.
BC.
It used to be easier when it was 1A and 1AA.
Just say he'd be at a bigger school.
Bigger school. Kelvin Gilliam Jr., the former Oklahoma Sooner, with a big play.
And
it's a loss of 7.
Doug, I continue to be impressed with these 2 interior defensive tackles for Virginia Tech. Their ability to play sideline to sideline as well as get up the field. We know that they're powerful defenders with their ability to bull rush, but the way that they're able to get sideline to sideline and make tackles out in the open field has been extremely impressive as well.
Well, Gilliam is the leader on this defense, no question about it. A top 200 recruit out of Richmond, Virginia. Another one of the guys who went away, went to Oklahoma and transferred back to his home state. And he's going to get a shot at the NFL level as well.
Absolutely, 6'3", 295 pounds. And, you know, he's all muscle, so he can add on a little more mass if they need.
Virginia Tech.
And with his ability to play sideline to sideline, he could play on the outside as well as interior-wise at the next level.
Sometimes you hear the word tweener. What do you think about that as it relates to him? And if you can play, you can play.
I think football player. Warren Sapp was not the biggest guy in the world, maybe 6'1", but he's the quickest through technique I've ever played against. I mean, so you usually see guys at his position interior-wise, 6'3", 6'4", 310, 320, 330. He was 6'1". But if you can play football, you can play football. And he's a football player.
Let me get this right. You just said something nice about a hurricane?
Absolutely. I respect his play. That's it.
Well, the Canes and Gators tonight, who are you rooting for in that one? Both to lose?
Nobody. I hope they both lose.
Along with former Florida State offensive lineman Forrest Connolly, I'm Doug Sherman. Glad you're with us. Nice one-handed catch out of the backfield by Modest. Michael Short and Elijah Fall were right there. We got another flag down on the play. Looks like it's going to be roughing the passer.
Whitaker knew he was going to take contact.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 33, defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, an automatic first down.
So this is Ben Bell, the 5th year, spent a couple of years at Louisiana Tech, 3 years at Texas State, looking for his 20th career sack, but got there a little bit late.
And, you know, I'm an offensive lineman, so I'm usually leaning towards the offense. But, I think that's one of those plays where they want him to just kind of lay off the guy and not put his full body weight on him when he came down. But that's a touch and go. You can either make the call or not. But, you know, those are mental errors that you don't want your defense to have. But I think when the defensive coaches go back and look at it, he may not have, you know, any disciplinary action as a result.
So Bell is replaced for now by James Jeanette. Whitaker. He is dropped at about the 32-yard line. He had time for good coverage downfield, and that is Jeanette able to trip him up for a loss.
And that's one of those plays where the offensive line does a good job of giving you time initially.
30 seconds.
But you can't block people forever, and when there's good coverage on the back end, there's nowhere to go at the football. You saw Whitaker, he tried to squeeze through. Good job by the defender disengaging and getting him down, because if he's able to squeeze through that first level of defender, all of the other defenders had their backs to him in coverage.
And so now Philip Montgomery, the interim head coach for Virginia Tech, uses his second timeout, trying to get the football back to maybe put some more points on the board before halftime. Here's a good look at the man who took over on Sunday. Will Hokie Nation rally around his team? First time he's been on the sideline actually this year, because as offensive coordinator he had been up in the booth, so he moves back down, puts the headset on as he did for many years as head coach at Tulsa. And again, the theme of his introductory press conference on Tuesday was, let's rewrite the story. We've got 9 games to play. Whitaker throws over the middle. It's complete to the 25-yard line to Ace Coleman. He had Isaiah Cash in coverage, but it's a big play for the Terriers. Now 3rd down after a 7-yard pickup. Got to get inside the 20-yard line. Whitaker firing to the end zone with safety help coming over. Jordan Bass got there to help out Isaiah Brown Murray, and it's an incompletion intended for C.J. Adams.
And I thought C.J. Adams had an opportunity. He stopped running. You've got to recognize, Adams, that you've got man coverage on the outside in the boundary. The safety is not shading over there. I think if he takes off initially and goes full speed, he's able to run under the football. Whitaker recognized that and got the ball out there, but I don't think Adams ran that route the way he needed to.
So now Sam Spence, who has been the most consistent of the kickers, gets an opportunity. He doesn't have the biggest leg from 43 yards, plenty of leg on that one, and the Terriers get on the board. A 42-yard field goal. And so Wofford is down 21-3. An 8-play, 35-yard drive as Wofford cuts it to 18. The band is getting ready for halftime. And a little better field around Lane Stadium than going into halftime last week when the boos were incredible, down 28-0. And then even more telling, most of the fans left. I've never seen Lane Stadium so empty as it was in the second half against ODU last week.
Well, one of the things, too, I like what Coach Montgomery told us. He said, you know, if there's any message you can give to the fans watching the game and listening, tell them to please continue to support these young men. We need their energy. We need their encouragement. We're going to continue to work hard and try and put the product that they expect out on the football field. Short
pooch punch. Punt by Sam Spence.
Themselves in a position where if the ball is in the air, they can make a break on it and try and get an interception. He needs a turnover.
Kyron Drones has had a good first half statistically. Going to throw on first down. Prelo able to tip it to himself. Brilliant catch. And just about 9.5 yards on the catch and carry before Elijah Williams brought him to the ground.
And the key to that is they got the first down, so the clock will stop while the chains move, and you'll see Virginia Tech get set on the football, ready to go.
So they did get more than 9.5, just enough to move those chains. Drones rolls out. He's got Prelo in front of him. Little pitch and catch to midfield, and Prelo smartly dances out of bounds with 22 seconds remaining in the first half.
And Wofford's playing a cover 3. They've got 3 deep safeties. They want to continue to keep everything in front of them.
Well, they limited it to a 7-yard gain, and now the Hokies are in business. Drones gets the call from the near sideline as the rest of his teammates, Zeke Wimbush, one of the tight ends, looks over. Ayden Greene as well, number 0. Dual receivers to each side. Looking near side. Now he dumps it off to Prelo. That is a first down to stop the clock momentarily at 14 seconds. Max Pulley with another tackle. But now the clock will start to run again. He spiked it. Clock is stopped at 8.
Game clock to 13 seconds, please.
So they'll put it back to 13 to give Tech a couple of more shots here. Well, if you're thinking about the leg of John Love, he's got one of the more powerful kicking legs in the country. He has gone for 50-plus 3 times, including a 60-yarder. So they are near his range right now. There's number 17 from Spartanburg, South Carolina. He grew up just down the road from the Wofford College campus. Drones all day to survey the field. Caught out of bounds. by number 88, Zeke Winbush. Every time I see 88 in Virginia Tech, I think Andre Davis in that Sports Illustrated cover back in the day.
I think he stepped out of bounds, was the first to touch the football. If he wasn't forced out of bounds, he cannot be the first offensive player to touch the football.
The side judge doesn't have his hat on. That's another tell. There we go. A hatless side judge usually means he was out of bounds.
Illegal touching for 88 of the offense. Play went out of bounds on his own. Returned in bounds, was the first to touch the pass. The penalties, 5 yards from the previous spot, loss of down, 3rd down.
Watch the bottom right of your screen on this replay.
Right here.
Previous spot.
Steps out of bounds right there. Now, if he was forced out of bounds, he can come back and establish himself in bounds, and he's able to touch the football. But if he steps out of bounds on his own accord, he cannot be the first offensive player to touch the football.
Eight seconds remaining in the half. Prelo able to get out of bounds, and they stop the clock with 2 seconds to go. Jalen Rambert, the starting inside linebacker in coverage. And let's see, do you even think about bringing Love onto the field? Indeed you do. And the crowd loves it. He's a perfect 5 for 5 this year in field goals. 44 of 49 for his career, including, as mentioned, a 60-yarder. This would be from 59. He's got the breeze with him at his back. It is up, and it is no good. By the way, Wofford had just -11 rushing yards in that first half against this Tech defense. It'll be the Tech offense that gets the football first, as Prelo will return it from inside his own 5-yard line. Makes one cut. Terrific return out to the 35. He is stopped there on a big collision with Terrence Honeywood. And now Kyron Drones, the redshirt senior from Houston, back out to start this second half. Well, you've talked about how dynamic he is. Kyron Drones has done something that College and Pro Football Hall of Famer Bruce Smith never did. College Football Hall of Famer Michael Vick never did. Neither did Antonio Freeman. On and on. Kyron Drones is the only Hokie ever to throw for, run for, and catch a touchdown in the same game. When he turned the trick against Georgia Tech, he was the first guy in a quarter century in all of college football to do it. He can do a lot of things if the Tech offense is right. Marcellus Hawkins has been right running the football, averaging about 8 yards per carry so far today.
You know, you talk about Drones not running the football. One thing I want to keep an eye out for is how he's moving. We saw he had a little hitch in the giddy early in the game, and he was limping a little bit, so I want to make sure we keep an eye on that as well.
And you wonder how long it might be before Pop Watson comes in at quarterback, if indeed that's part of the plan for interim head coach Philip Montgomery. Swing it out near side, out of the backfield is Hawkins, makes a man miss. Positive yardage out to the 45-yard line. It appeared that Darius Malcolm had a chance to make the play. Cade Mullador finally got him to the ground.
You see Jacoby Hatter, he outran the offensive play. You've got to slow down. And once again, you've got defenders from Wofford that are getting there, but they're kind of coming out of control. You've got to break down and try and slow the offensive player down to get a hand on him.
6-yard pickup, and yes, it was Hatter, not Malcolm, who missed his opportunity. Strong throw to the far sideline on target. It's a completion to Donovan Greene.
Pass complete to number 3.
Zade Rogan, a freshman burner in coverage, but Greene at 6'2" provides a good target. And when Drones throws the football like that, there's nothing much you can do.
And that shows you his ability. He's throwing from the opposite hash, and you see the arm strength on that throw.
9-yard pickup. So it's 2nd down and 1. Hawkins running left side. Defender got him by the foot. It was Eli Campbell, the free safety. Real ball hawk, has the best skills defensively. That time he was tough enough to bring down all 219 pounds of Marcellus Hawkins.
Brings it 3rd and 2.
Jarikus Hairston comes in with 3rd down and 2 upcoming after the 1-yard loss. 12 personnel, couple of tight ends in there. Hairston alongside Gosnell, the 2 tight ends. Drones going to run for it. First time he has attempted that today, and Wofford was ready. Seth Foster, the rugged nose tackle, and then helped on the back end by Max Pulley coming up from his strong safety spot.
And I thought Drones could have audibled out of that play. They showed 7 at the line of
Illegal
scrimmage.
substitution on the defense. 12 players on the field at the snap. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Boy, what a mistake for Wofford. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see them all. Maybe that's why they stopped him so well. Get an extra player, why not? So Tech's offense stays on the field, move it 5 yards to the 41-yard line. Tucker Holloway now into the game. We have seen him repeatedly on punt return. Pitch it to Hawkins. A couple of defenders right there, ridden down from behind.
Hawkins on the carry
by Caleb Oliver, sophomore out of DeLand High School in Florida. He's the guy who the defensive coordinator, Mitch Doolittle, said he wants to go hit people. We saw a pretty good tackle right there.
Gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
They're showing the blitz. They're giving them a good pre-snap identification of what they're going to do defensively. I'm interested to see if Drones will audible out of some of these and go to where that blitz is coming from, because that's where the free man will be.
Showing pressure again from the linebacker position. The 4 rushing picked up nicely. A one-handed grab along the sideline. Just a beauty for Devin Alves.
The ruling on the field is
Now,
completed pass for a first down.
As impressive as that catch was, the throw was as well, because he's got to fit that in between 2 defenders. He was bracketed. He had a defender underneath and the defender on top. And where Drones put that football was where only his receiver could make a play on it.
The ruling on the field of a completed pass is under further review.
And at the front end of that play, let's not forget that Marcellus Hawkins did a nice job in pass protection, picking up Jonathan Schaefer, who was coming in from his linebacker position. So we're going to break while they review it to see if Alves made the catch.
Hokie fans, our pregame flyover this afternoon was conducted by 2 UH-1N helicopters from the U.S. Air Force's 1st Helicopter Squadron out of Joint Base Andrews, Maryland. Please welcome to the field our pilots and air crew from today's flyover. Captain Jake Abbott from San Antonio, Texas. Captain Connor Brooks from College State, Pennsylvania. Captain Pablo Vespasiano from Miami, Florida. Captain Jake Marvin from Denver, Colorado. Senior Airman William Bernard from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Airman First Class Ronald McGrath from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thank you for your service and welcome to Lane Stadium.
After review, the ruling on the field of a completed pass is upheld. First down.
The call on the field has been upheld that Devin Alves, the fourth-year Hokie, gained control before he went out of bounds. So he's now got 2 catches for 32 yards, including his first career touchdown. And this is his first real extended opportunity in his 4 years to get reps offensively. He has had a lot of special teams play, especially last year, but now a bigger part of the offense for Kyron Drones. Faking the pitch, now throws it that way. Hawkins has one man to beat and does that. Carrying defenders inside the 10-yard line, finally brought down by Maximus Pulley. Jonathan Schaefer had a shot, so did Eli Campbell.
And again, Drones is looking through all of his progressions. He doesn't see what he likes. He dumps it off to his safety valve. And you see the ability of Hawkins one-on-one in the open field. He's going to break tackles, show you that balance and that will to continue to fall forward. 19 yards on the pass play, much of that after the catch from Marcellus Hawkins. Fake the handoff to him. Now Drones cuts it up, falls forward to the 3-yard line. Among those to bring him down, Zayd Rogan, a freshman from Marietta, Georgia. Jay Week Hairston among those out throwing a block. And so now Isaiah Spencer comes out. A little bigger lineup. Benji Gosnell, the captain, the tight end. He was a 3-time state champion at East Surrey High School in North Carolina. Back out there, going heavy personnel. On 2nd and goal inside the 5. Drones calls his own number, and he gets tackled by Schaefer. Well, we keep calling number 40's name, and that's been going on for a long time. Back at Andrew Jackson High School in South Carolina, 3-sport Starfo, all-state baseball, school record 1,800 points in basketball, and he was the class valedictorian. To me, that's just kind of showing off. Come on, man. And he's a very slippery player. He does a good job of finding the seam and getting up the field, not allowing those interior players to get a body on the body. They want to get a hat on the hat and cover him up, but he's doing a good job of being slippery at the point of attack. 10th
play of the drive. Drones throws to the end zone. It is caught, and it's a touchdown. Donovan Greene stays in bounds. On the receiving end from Kyron Drones, his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And this is just an example of Drones knowing where his receiver is going to be. You see right here, receiver Greene is coming across the back of the end zone, and Drones realizing he'll be there. I just need to put the ball where he's going to be.
And he beat Rogan at the line of scrimmage. That's a 5th-year senior, over 2,000 receiving yards against a true freshman in Zayd Rogan. Which goes back to what Sean Watson, the head coach at Wofford, talked about, the fact that we've got 9 true freshmen on our 2 deep. We have a lot of guys who are learning on the fly. So at the moment, it's a 10-play, 62-yard scoring drive. The longest drive of the game in terms of time and yards, but we'll see if it stands as they review if it's indeed a touchdown.
First thing they're going to look for, did he step out of bounds prior?
Oh.
Yes, he did. He stepped out of bounds, so I think they're going to overturn this because he, once again, if he's not forced out of bounds, he cannot be the first offensive player to touch the football. If he's forced out of bounds and he gets himself back in bounds and establishes himself back in bounds, he can then be the first offensive player to touch the ball. So I think they'll overturn this.
Now, from that angle, can you say definitively that it's 100% that he stepped on the end line?
I think you can.
Yeah.
But it's not my decision to be made.
Since we don't have a camera on the backside.
Right there.
There we go.
Yes, I think right there you can clearly see.
Yeah. I was trying, Donovan.
You were trying to mess up my explanation.
No, and I wasn't the only one rooting. You know, his twin brother Greg was rooting for him. Come on.
The receiver touched the ball with his left foot on the end line. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th and goal at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, the Greene family back in Mount Airy, North Carolina, not happy.
Great effort. So do you go for it right here, Doug, or do you take the field goal?
I go for it. How about you?
With the way the defense has been playing, I definitely think Well, it doesn't matter what I think. They're going to kick the field goal.
Well, I'm thinking if they don't get it, the way your defense has been playing, they are staring at a long field.
That's what I was thinking, but at the same time, you want to continue to give the fans something to cheer about. You don't want to have an empty drive.
But they did miss a 4th down conversion earlier in the game, so maybe let's get the lead back to 3 touchdowns with our Mr. Automatic, John Love. From 20 yards out, it is a field goal. 30 years of football. He was a good player as well, but he's in the College Football Hall of Fame for what he did on the sidelines, guiding this program for decades. And so, of course, all the talk around Blacksburg and Hokie Nation as we get a return by Ivory Akins is who's going to be the next full-time head coach at Tech, and what do you think? Here's some of your candidates that you've been thinking about.
Well, you got Coach Jimbo Fisher, national championship winning coach. Michael Vick, I mean, he is Virginia Tech first overall pick. I think he would galvanize the program. Shane Beamer, you know, we already know the Beamer name, what it stands for here. John Gruden is an interesting name that nobody's been talking about. Pat Fitzgerald, we saw what he was able to do at Northwestern. And then Alex Golesh, what you see at South Florida right now, they are a team to be reckoned with. He's shown that he can recruit the state of Florida. You give him an opportunity to come to a Power 4 program, I think he can make some noise as well.
And the piece of the puzzle that has been missing in recent years as the football program has flagged for more than a decade is that Tech is expected to commit $50+ more million toward athletics. The approval is expected by the end of the month and get closer to what Whit Babcock, the athletic director, his stated goal of $200 million for an annual budget if you want to be competitive in the ACC. And of course, some of that, if not much of that, will go towards not just the head coach, but the staff around him.
And if you look at the facilities, these facilities are already top-notch and gorgeous. I mean, so just think of the addition of that money in this program and what it would do as far as building and getting back to that championship caliber of football that they're used to seeing and having here at Virginia Tech University.
Matt Flanders to catch for Wofford as we show you one of the quotes from Babcock. If you want to compete near the top of the ACC, our budget needs to be $200 million. If we don't radically leap forward now, we're likely sealing our own fate for years and generations, and that's alluding to the idea that somewhere in the not too distant future, there will be another huge split at big-time college football, and schools like Virginia Tech likely would be left behind, and that is certainly not something folks here in Hokie Nation want. And you can say the same thing all around the country. Schools are feeling that crunch. Now, if you're Florida State, if you are Clemson, you don't worry about being on the wrong side of the cut line, but there are a lot of ACC schools thinking about that as part of the equation right now.
And it's such a competitive atmosphere right now. And we know money plays a big part. Fundraising, money's allotted to the programs. But programs, when they get these opportunities, they've got to do the right thing with, you know, putting that money in the right place to continue to build the programs, whether it be with facilities, whether it be with recruiting and NIL opportunities. They've got to put the monies in the right place.
After the tackle for loss by Copeland, the intended pass to Coleman is incomplete. Good coverage by Jordan Bass, the Pittsburgh transfer. And Michael Vick is the one who you think, you know, if he gets hired, you're going to have the pushback for what happened off the field by a certain segment of the population for sure. But I would think he would invigorate largely the donors and the alumni and the fan base at Virginia Tech.
And the amount of young talent that would want to come and play for a Michael Vick. Because, you know, we understand what happened off the field, but on the field, he's the most dynamic player to ever play in this program outside of maybe, say, a Bruce Smith because of what he did defensively and how dominant he was.
3rd down and 9. Pass a little too tall through the hands of Cam Smith. Isaiah Brown Murray was right in his hip pocket, and so the defense for Tech gets off the field. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Michael Vick has cachet, and even though he was ahead of the time of the kids who are in high school now, that cachet in terms of recruiting would carry a lot of weight, I would think.
Well, what you look at, too, as a head coach now, their job is to get the alumni involved, get the alumni to be a part of the program, get the alumni to come back and donate to the program. If you're Michael Vick, you're going to get you 2 great coordinators to go out and coach, and you lead men. And I think, too, when you look at some of the things that he dealt with off the field, he's relatable to a lot of young men that have not made all the best decisions, but he's shown that you can come back from a bad decision, and I think that bodes well when you look towards the future.
In the weeks and months to come, that will be topic number one here in Blacksburg. Back after this. Virginia Tech quarterback Kyron Drones, 20 of 23 passing, 234 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's back on the field with great position to start this drive at the Hokies 44-yard line. Welcome back. With Forrest Connolly, I'm Doug Sherman. On this 4th week of the college football season, each of these two teams looking for their first wins of the year. On the swing pass, it is completed to Jeremiah Coney. He's out of bounds. Out to midfield.
Driven out by 39.
Or not quite. Out to the 45-yard line. A pickup of 1. First action of the game for Coney.
For the Hokies.
Well, Tech's up by 3 touchdowns. And with the way the defense has been playing, you get the sense that might be enough because Wofford has not been able to sustain much offense. Pre-snap flag.
False start, number 62, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That's the center, Kyle Altuner. He actually has 3 players on the offensive line for Tech who transferred from West Virginia to come along with the position coach, Matt Moore, as well as a young man who had committed out of high school to West Virginia. So he brought with him a lot of talent here to Blacksburg. So after the penalty, it's second down and 14. Drones checks it down out of the backfield again. Able to find the open man out near midfield. Coney with his second reception on the drive.
Out near the 50-yard line.
9-yard pickup. Now out to midfield.
Stop number 9,
Yeah, Wofford offensively has only 73 yards passing with its backup quarterback in today. And running the football, minus 11. 17 carries for minus 11. Of course, in college football, that includes the quarterback sacks and being drop behind the line of scrimmage, but it has been a struggle offensively for Wofford. On third down, Drones has a wide open receiver, Ayden Greene, to the 35-yard line before driven into the ground by Perrin Ketchen. But it's a first down for Tech. 16 yards on the pass play as Drones continues to deliver the football perfectly.
And a good job by Greene finding a hole in that cover 2 defense, sitting down and giving his quarterback somewhere to go with the football. You're usually going to find that hole in between the safety in that corner who's covering that front edge.
Showing pressure on the edge, picked up nicely. Now Drones has to move up in the pocket. And again, he's got a hookup to Coney out of the backfield.
So many things to like on that play. What Drones did, climb in the pocket, trusting his offensive lineman. A good job by the guards in the center to give him the depth to climb that pocket. And then a better job by Coney getting possession, knowing he's going to take contact with the linebacker or safety coming downhill and holding on to the football.
Well, a big part of the problem against Old Dominion last week was the offensive line play, and Drones taking a lot of pressure. How have you felt this maneuvered and changed around offensive line has held up so far today, Forrest?
Well, they've done a good job on the outside, giving him the width of the pocket that he needs, and then on the inside, the interior guys, giving him the depth. You see right there's nowhere to go with the football, but a good job by the offensive line. And what Drones did, once again, make a good decision. Don't try and force it. They're in man coverage. Everybody's got their backs to him. Take what the defense gives you, get the first down, and get out of bounds. Don't take any unnecessary contact.
Coney with a nice job blocking downfield before the tackle was finally made by Logan McLeod. That was a 12-yard gain. And so 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Once again, the Hokies in the red zone. Tyler Mason, the motion man, takes the pitch. He gives it up. Little trickeration that Wofford was ready for. Donovan Greene is dropped by McLeod.
And that was almost a disaster.
Got a flag down on the far side of the field. Yeah, it looked like the Terriers knew what was coming. Mason comes out of the game. An extended huddle here. Let's see what the penalty marker is all about. We're hearing it's going to be an illegal forward pass. During the delay, I'm enjoying watching the Jumbotron, the little kids getting up on the screen and the parents going crazy. So don't mind me. As the Boo Birds come, not for the Hokies, but for the officials for the extended delay.
The previous plays under further review to determine if the second pass was forward.
Well, this is now 12 of Drones' 23 completions have gone to running backs today. He has used Hawkins, Prelo, most extensively. And again, we've not seen Terrion Stewart. And last week against Old Dominion, rushed for 57 yards, showed signs of coming back fully from an injury during training camp that had slowed him down. So now we're hearing that they are looking at both passes, not just the second one. Let's see if we see a illegal forward pass. That's certainly legal.
And that's backwards. I don't see anything illegal about that. Because he's got jet sweep action coming. That's considered a forward pass. And this is
And
backwards,
a lateral.
so it's a lateral backwards.
After review, there is no foul for illegal forward pass. Second down at the 17-yard line.
Okay. Took a while, but they got it. So for all of that, it's a 1-yard gain for Tech. Drones trots back out along with fellow captain tight end Benji Gosnell. Cam Selden, the receiver, in the slot to the right. Ayden Greene at the bottom of your screen, number 0 up top, Donovan Greene. The running back is Jeremiah Coney. 2nd and 9. RPO, throw the football, near side Greene. Looked like he made the man miss, but somehow Darius Malcolm held onto his hand and made the tackle.
Holding on for life, and you see Greene shaking his head because he knows he made a great move and he could have gotten to the end zone. Watch here, great move with a step to the outside to get to the inside, but Malcolm grabbed his hand and would not let him go.
I don't think I've ever seen a hand tackle like that before.
Hey man, get him down any way you possibly can.
Absolutely. Coney stays on in the backfield for Tech. Makes a cut inside the 5, absorbs a hit, and falls to the 2-yard line. Elijah Williams, the outside linebacker, along with Cole Walker, the fastest member of this defense, on the stop after a 5-yard pickup.
And you mentioned it earlier, Doug. The offensive line has done a really good job of getting movement at the point of attack and gelling, something they hadn't had the opportunity to do with all the injuries that they've dealt with throughout the season early.
12 personnel on 2nd and goal. Coney met, stopped. He falls forward but is short thanks to Jude Tyner. At the end of the play, you saw him across the goal line, but he was down before that due to the tackle of the Georgia State transfer, Tyner. He was the first one there, and they'll go for it again in tight on 3rd and goal, and that is a touchdown. A 10-play scoring drive. The Hokies have 30 on the board. So Drones is thrown for 3 and has now rushed for 1. A 10-play, 56-yard drive, chewing up 5 minutes and 37 seconds on the clock. You're late in the 3rd quarter.
And as an offensive line, we call that knuckle swipe. I mean, all of your pressure, everything is leaning forward, and you're just going forward. There's nothing about backwards with your movement. Everything is forward.
That was knuckle swipe?
Knuckles white.
Knuckles white. Okay,
Fingertips
gotcha.
white, excuse me. Fingertips.
Fingertips white. Love remains perfect on PATs in his career. Here is Drones.
You see everybody leaning forward? Fingertips white.
Fingertips white.
Everybody's falling forward. It's like they're barreling down. Head down. Basically all fours. Bear crawling into the end zone. All of your weight, everything is leaning forward.
Well, when you are an FBS team facing an FCS team, you would like to think that with fingertips white in that situation, your bigs should be bigger and stronger than their bigs, and getting a yard shouldn't be a problem.
Well, you would like to think that against an FBS team as well. I mean, that is when you're down, and that's something that you hit the sled for every day. That's why you practice sled work as an offensive lineman. You want to get movement at the point of attack. It's always the first guy to make contact is usually the person that's going to win that battle. So you want to, like I said, have fingertips white, have all of your weight leaning forward. Everything and every part of your movement needs to be going forward, barreling through, trying to uplift, dig up under those defenders and get movement.
Tech has had back-to-back 5+ minute scoring drives for a field goal and a touchdown as they chew up more of the clock late here in the 3rd quarter. And we saw the numbers of Kyron Drones. He's thrown only 4 incomplete passes. 2 of them, you remember, early on were drops. He has been about as pristine throwing the football as you could hope for.
You have to feel good for him because of what he's dealt with throughout the week. There's been a lot of stress with them, with this whole program, with Coach Pride being let go, with Coach Montgomery being named interim. And, what Coach Montgomery said is true. Quarterbacks get too much prestige when things are going great and too much blame when things are going wrong. And I thought he got a lot of the blame this week, and he's responded extremely well.
Jaden Whitaker, the backup quarterback, starting today because of injury, puts that one right on the money to Isaiah Scott. One of 3 receivers for Wofford out of Miami Norland High School. And he's going to come out.
And when Whitaker's had time, he's thrown some really good balls. That was a really good ball right there. You get it in between those defenders and allow Scott to run under it.
Well, the quarterback out of Brownsburg, Indiana, followed Ben Easters at Brownsburg. Easters went on to play the last 4 years at quarterback at Kansas. Hand off to Gerald Modest, another one of the Miami kids at a skill position for Wofford. He was tackled by Cody Heisman. And yes, it is pronounced Heisman, like the Heisman Trophy. A graduate transfer from North Dakota State University. He knows all about national championships. Heisman was part of 2 FCS national title teams, although he was a redshirt in 21. He was an All-Missouri Valley Football Conference honorable mention last year and used that to springboard a transfer up to Virginia Tech. Ivory Aikens, the motion man for the Terriers. Whitaker rolls right, trying to flood the zone with receivers, and they find number 0, Aikens, pushed back, but it is a first down with forward progress. Thomas Williams doing the hokey pokey before the game. As we head to the 4th quarter, as Virginia Tech eyes its first win of the season. Tell you what, Jaden Whitaker has found his rhythm. That's his 3rd completion for better than 60 yards on this drive. This time again, it's Isaiah Scott on the receiving end.
And that's what you do in an aggressive defense. You go with the misdirection. You get everybody moving one way, roll the quarterback out the opposite way, and he's got his receiver coming across the field. A good job, a good play call.
So that's a 14-yard pickup to make it 61 yards on the drive. 3 of 3 for the sophomore from Brownsburg, Indiana. Whitaker taking a shot to the end zone. He's got single coverage in and out of the hands of Cam Smith.
And he had possession. You've got to squeeze that football. A good effort by Cam Smith, but a better defensive effort by Jamari DeLoach to get a hand up in there right at the end of that play and affect his ability to try and squeeze that football.
Now Whitaker is a coach's kid, showing confidence on this drive. The son of Jeffrey and Marissa. His dad is better known around the Indianapolis area as JT. Coach Jaden from elementary school on up was his varsity offensive coordinator. His son gives it to Modest. And off of the good passing, a few more running lanes before closed up by Cash and Spencer. And we've not seen Ison Jackson Anderson since he went out with injury. Of course, Kyle Parsons, the starting running back, out this week with a knee injury. And now Modest goes off. And so on cue, Jackson Anderson comes back in. Wofford is 3 of 10 on 3rd downs today. Whitaker thought about running for it, now sees a man downfield, but couldn't find Anwan Ace Coleman. Isaiah Cash, the nickelback, there step for step near the goal line.
And you have to know down and distance. I thought Whitaker had an opportunity to plant his foot and get north and south and get that first down and get out of bounds and avoid contact. So you have to be aware of down and distance.
Well, this is another 42-yard attempt for Sam Spence out of the hold of Maddox Cowart. The snap by Blake Shirley is good. The hold is good. The kick is up. And it is good.
Spence.
A second-made field goal by Sam Spence, who is back to being the #1 place kicker for Wofford because Sean Watson, his head coach, said he's just been the most consistent through camp and the start of the season. So it's a 8-play, 51-yard scoring drive. And Wofford continues to fight. And as we said off the top, Wofford also 0-3 this year, but they have been in every game up until this point, losing by a point, losing by a point, and losing by 4 points.
And to all playoff teams.
Yeah.
So that and conference champions as well.
Well, we just got word that Terrion Stewart is dressed and available, just hasn't come into the game yet today. One of the many running backs being used or not by Philip Montgomery. He was a game time decision. So whether it's the lingering effects of the injury he was dealing with through camp or not, haven't needed him today. Avon Maddox with a low line drive kick that goes out of bounds. So it'll be a penalty and out to the 35-yard line.
Free kick
to
out of
start this
bounds
drive.
for the 35, kicking team. Lovely place to the 35-yard line. First down. Correction on number 37.
Kyron Drones plays on. Marcellus Hawkins, who has had a productive day at running back, will carry it again. Play is whistled dead after he was met early on by Wyatt Ward, number 44. They will say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. Well, there are a number of connections between these two football programs that I find interesting, at least. Nice catch by Tucker Holloway. Caught it with both hands. Flag comes in at the end. Zade Rogan, again, the true freshman in coverage. Ramon McCullough pressuring the quarterback.
Personal foul, face mask, number 27, defense. The 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play, and automatic first down.
So that is Rogan, and again, he is being thrown into the fire as a first-year player. Got that left hand up briefly, up around the face mask.
And you want to keep those hands down around the breastplate when you're making that tackle.
So 14-yard gain, tack on the extra 15 for the penalty, and the Hokies once again driving the football to the 36-yard line of Wofford. Once again, it's Ward along with McLeod on the stop of Hawkins. Okay, so Mitch Doolittle, the defensive coordinator at Wofford, was hired at Wofford by the man who is currently the defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech. Sam Seifkis, before he left for a stint in the NFL, was part of the group that hired Mitch Doolittle as a defensive assistant. And Doolittle has since ascended in the defensive coordinator role. Good pitch and catch. Tucker Holloway takes it inside the 10-yard line. Drones once again has the Hokies knocking on the door after a 20-yard gain. Drones lofts it. Right place, right time for Darius Melton. He never turned his head, but he was in the right spot to keep it from getting to Tucker Holloway.
And he did a good job of not panicking on that play. You always want your defensive back to turn around and locate the football But he did turn around, actually, at the end of the play, but he didn't panic and go through the receiver. A good job of knocking it out.
And it looked like Holloway was able to get a hand in to knock that pass away when he knew he couldn't make the catch. 2nd and goal. Drones going to try it again in that corner. A lot of contact, and the penalty comes. Malcolm and Holloway. And it is going to
Pass
go.
interference, number 14, defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic. First down.
And you see right here, Malcolm never turned around to look at the football. He's fighting through the receiver, pushing. He's got his hands all over the receiver. Easy call for the official.
So in tight, heavy personnel for Tech. After the 8-yard penalty, sets them up 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. 2 tight ends. Drones walks in. The Terriers defense bit on the fake handoff, and there was no one left on the outside as Drones walks in for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the afternoon.
And Doug, I think that may be the first time that Drones has kept that ball on that RPO action. He's handed it off every time, but you see here, he sees the defensive end and the safety come down inside, and he knows he's basically just got to pull the ball out at the mesh point and walk on into the end zone. Great decision by Drones on that play.
So now Kyle Lowe, who was a redshirt senior, kickoff specialist, he has never attempted a field goal or PAT getting this opportunity, and he punches it through. When John Love is your teammate, you understand you're not going to get so many opportunities, but good for Kyle Lowe to get his name in the scoring column as we head to break. Tech, led by its senior quarterback Kyron Drones, in control here this afternoon. Virginia Tech 38, Wofford 6 on a gorgeous afternoon here in Blacksburg, Virginia. And so now the kickers for Virginia Tech have switched roles completely. Kyle Lowe got to kick a point after for the first time in his career, and now John Love, the all-conference place kicker, is going to kick off. You think that's the kickers going to the coaches in a game like this, Fo, and saying, come on.
Yeah, let me do it, Coach.
Come on. Notable Week 4 games around the ACC. There is lightning in Clemson, South Carolina, so that orange lead is 10. They have yet to start the third quarter. SMU hanging around with TCU. The Horned Frogs still up 4 in the fourth quarter. Coming up at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, North Carolina State and Duke on ESPN2. And then the big game tonight, Miami and Florida in Coral Gables, 7:30 on ABC. And it's the first time ever College Game Day went to Coral Gables. They have done Miami Hurricanes games many times over the years, but always from the stadium, which is 20 miles north of campus. But I thought it was neat that they decided to go on campus and get that feel, and it makes sense because you're there in the morning. The football game's not till 7:30, so why not? The kids are on campus, and you get a great atmosphere there.
Well, those kids have earned it as well. You look at what they did last year with Cam Ward being the #1 overall pick. You go in the portal, you get the best quarterback available, Carson Beck. He's come out and shown himself to be what they thought he could be with that program. They're, a top 10 program right now with a big game on the horizon. Why not? They've earned it.
I've made you say nice things now twice about the Hurricanes today.
Absolutely.
Flag down on the play.
I'll be as unbiased as I possibly can until next week.
Tallahassee or
in 2 weeks.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay second down.
But I think this Florida game tonight could be interesting. Florida has nothing to lose, everything in the game. These kids have all played against one another and with one another in high school. Florida's familiar with Carson Beck from his Georgia days.
Yep.
I did see that Florida may be without 3 defensive linemen, which could hurt. But at the same time, they've got 4- and 5-star guys behind the guys that start. So you never know. And I don't know if those will be starters that'll be out, but it could be an interesting game.
Isaiah Nell out there at running back for the first time. Instead, they throw the football to the near side to Matt Flanders. Another completion for Jaden Whitaker. Isaiah Cash with the tackle. And the Gators, much like we saw last week here in Blacksburg, they could be playing for their head coach's job.
Absolutely.
Billy Napier's another one very much on the hot seat.
Yes. And I think that South Florida loss really hurt him. You lose at home to South Florida. That was a very tough loss for that Florida team, and they seem to be on an emotional high with their early season success.
3rd down and 11. Clock running, under 10 minutes to go in regulation. Whitaker has all day. Finds Ace Coleman along the near sideline. Tackled inbounds to keep the clock going. That'll bring up 4th down.
And Virginia Tech will give up all of that underneath, all of the underneath routes. Their job is to continue to keep the offense behind the sticks. We'll give that up. We just have to make the tackle.
Kevin Craig will now get an opportunity to punt for Wofford. His career-long 59 yards at South Carolina State in the season opener. In place of the starter Maddox Cowart, who has had many opportunities to punt. That's a beauty right there. Driving back Holloway to the 20-yard line. Lets the first 2 fly by. Flags come flying, and Holloway is dropped at the 27-yard line by Elijah Williams.
During the return, legal block in the back. Number 4, return team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Virginia Tech. Timeout.
50-yard punt, a beauty from the backup. Virginia Tech has its offense coming back out onto the field after this. And I tell you what, John Cena cracks me up anytime I see him. So I am intrigued tonight. New quarterback in, as Kyron Drones has given way to William Pop Watson. And Virginia Tech, with 8:12 to go, has Tyler Mason on the carry. So there's Pop, redshirt sophomore from Spring.
Offense, half the distance to the goal for the previous spot. Replay first down.
A penalty on the right tackle, Ayden Lynch. But William Watson III, William Waverly Watson III, was ACC Rookie of the Week for his first career start last November against UVA. Threw for over 250 yards in a 37-17 win over the Cavaliers, so he is capable. He was a big recruit, a big get coming out of Springfield. Michigan, Oregon, Tennessee, Pittsburgh in the ACC also offered. And so Pop gets an opportunity after a terrific day from the starting quarterback, Drones, and here goes Pop. Out across the 15, still spinning at the 20. And finally brought down after a big pickup.
And I love his elusiveness. You see him able to get to the outside, the speed to get to the edge. And then he doesn't want to just go down and slide. He's trying to get as many yards as possible. And I think he thought better of it after that spin right there. He said, okay, let me go ahead and get down. I see too many defenders around.
Yeah, eventually somebody's going to line you up. But he left Cole Walker and Cade Mullador in the dust for a pretty run out to the 20-yard line, getting most of the yardage back. 2nd down and 2. Mason tries to pick his way to the line to gain. He comes up about a yard short, and Mullador with the tackle. Well, we put a bow on the work done by Kyron Drones, the 4th game of his career, 2 rushing touchdowns. First time he's done it since last October against Boston College, as well as being near perfect throwing the football. 4 total touchdowns, 1 shy of his career high of 5. 27 of 32, had a couple of drops, over 300 yards passing, his 3rd highest passing total in a single game as a Hokie. Braden Bennett takes the handoff and goes straight ahead. Keeps the feet moving, and he's got himself a 1st down. Tice Donnelly, who I met in the elevator last night, a freshman linebacker who told me if he gets a chance to play today, he'd like for me to call him the wild card. So number 39 in black, he is the wild card, getting an opportunity. Young man out of Fruit Cove, Florida. And I told him if he get a 70-yard pick 6, in the middle of it, I'm screaming wild card. He liked that. Pre-snap penalty.
False start, 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
2nd time Lynch has been flagged here in the 4th quarter.
And as an offensive lineman, especially an offensive tackle, you know the snap count. But you're out there on that island as a tackle, and you want to get a head start. But if I'm the coach, I'm saying, okay, you jumped off sides, but you were in a bad position. You were up high. I want you to at least be in a good position if you're going to be, off sides.
First and 15 for Pop Watson. Tice Donnelly, again mixing it up. He was the first one there.
Get on the stop, 53, June Tenner.
Watch the wild card, number 39. There he is.
You just got to keep your head up. You can't go in there running with your head down. You got to see what you're hitting.
He's just a freshman. Look at him fight. I like the wild card.
The wild card is all over the place, but you got to keep your head up. He's right there twice to make the tackle.
So I say he's a wild card. He didn't say it was a sure thing. Jonathan Schaefer. Trying to keep with Devin Alves, who's already got a touchdown reception. Something was off there on the pass from Watson. So now 3rd down. And a little more than 10 to go. Mason remains the running back out there for Tech. Play clock down to 10, plenty of time still. Now they got to go. And time is going to be called to avoid the delay of game penalty.
Charged him out of the half. Virginia Tech. Media timeout.
So we'll take a break and come back to talk about what is or isn't going on in the transfer portal right now for the Hokies. in this first game is interim head coach Philip Montgomery, closing in on what would be win number 1 of his tenure here. One of the positive things to come out of the last few days since Brent Pry was fired on Sunday is that from the next day forward, so from Monday, for the next 30 days, these players have a portal to get in if they want to transfer. And so as Pop Watson is tackled by Jonathan Schaefer. The good news to report is that so far only one Virginia Tech player, defensive back Dante Lovett, has entered that portal. But they've got 30 days, so another 3 weeks to do it. And the bigger number to me is the number 4, that this is the 4th game that these players can play for Virginia Tech and still go and transfer and not lose this year of eligibility. You can still redshirt playing 4 games. So I think the next few days are really going to be key to see who they retain and who goes into the portal.
Absolutely. You'll see tomorrow, I think, if you see players jump into that portal, the fear is players want to play today to get good film, to showcase their talent and their skill set for a possible move. For the program, for Virginia Tech fans, you hope that that is not the case. You would hope that because of the good showing that they've had today, the positive that we've seen offensively and defensively, that guys will be invigorated to continue the process and continue here with the program as they continue to move forward. But you just don't know, and that's the thing that kind of hangs over everyone's heads right now, the fear that guys will jump into the portal.
And UCLA is in the exact same position, and we just don't know what is going to be the new reality as these things change constantly. Isaiah Nell out there running the football. The one place that it's hurt Tech is in their commits. They have lost their top recruit from the class of 2026. An offensive lineman has decommitted. One of 2 from that class, and also from the class of 27, one of the top recruits who had committed has decommitted. So, you know, that's just the nature of college football. But for Virginia Tech at this point, they are very vulnerable. And don't think for a second that other college coaches and programs and players' agents aren't working on deals all along.
Well, I think one of the things positive for Virginia Tech is they've got great facilities. They play in a great football conference. They are a Power 4 program. They are a prestigious program that, you know, has a winning tradition. And in today's world of portal players, you can build a program through the portal. We've seen that happen. We've seen programs turn around overnight. You know, think about Florida State. You know, they got into the portal this offseason and they've turned it around down there with a couple of key players. So it can happen. So you look at the negative that could possibly happen, but you also have to look at the positive that can happen as a result.
After the big hit by Brennan Johnson on 3rd down, a juggling catch for 1st down by Jack Purdy, the sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina, showing terrific hands to haul that in.
And what a throw by Jaden Whitaker. We continue to see positive from Whitaker as he continues to play throughout this game. I like sprinting him outside the pocket, creating more time. He squeezes the ball right in there, and Purdy does a good job of getting his body in between himself and Joseph Reddish to make that catch.
And Wofford has next week off before hosting Western Carolina October 4th. Still playing hard, but they are going to drop to 0-4. Brett, freshman, wound up being a 3rd-round pick in 2016, had the Super Bowl clinching interception for the Chiefs. And I got a trivia question for you, Forrest. As Wofford runs it on 2nd down and long. Gabe Williams carried the football. All right, so there in the history of the NFL, there have been 3 different families who have put 4 players, 4 siblings, into the NFL. And one of them is the Fuller family. All 4 of the boys played here. Vincent, Corey, Kyle, and Kendall. Can you name the other 2 families to have 4 sons who went on to play in the NFL?
Matthews?
Nope. I'll give you a second to think about it.
Okay.
We got another minute 18. Swarming defense by the Hokies. The 2s and the 3s are getting their opportunity. Jamari DeLoach among those in on the tackle. Well, our statistician Karen's already chimed in. She's got one of them for us. You're 0 for 2.
Give me a minute. I'm still thinking.
You're Googling. You're not thinking. You're Googling. All right, I'll give it to you. The easy one for me and Karen was the Gronkowskis.
Oh, that's right.
Rob is the big star, but his brothers.
But it's only 3 of them, isn't it?
No, there's 4. Grew up in Western New York. Their father was a good player at Syracuse, although none of the boys decided to follow him to Syracuse. And the other family, you got a guess?
I know it was 3 Bosa's that played,
Yeah,
but
the
2
Browners.
Saints. Oh,
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah,
But I thought it was only 3 Gronkowskis. It's 4?
I'm pretty sure it's 4. The fullback from Kansas State.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to think. I didn't look up that far. I just took it as, yeah, that sounds right. 4 Gronkowskis. So anyhow, we don't want to take the shine away from the Fuller family. Apparently, I didn't see it, but Vincent, Corey, and Kyle all came back to honor their younger brother here this weekend. They had a nice dinner last night, and they were recognized at halftime today. And all things, at least for the moment, here in Hokieville are good. Final play of the game, they take a knee, and the Hokies, after hitting their nadir last Saturday night and firing their coach the following day, get into the win column for the first time. And congratulations to Philip Montgomery, the interim head coach. He has win number 1 in his tenure, no matter how long it is, here in Blacksburg.
Excellent response by this team. Good job by Coach Montgomery to keep everyone together, to